Well, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Stories with me, Pastor Michelle. Today is Sunday, December 27th, and our bold woman of the day is someone that I believe all of you will have heard of. Someone named Oprah Winfrey. All right. So she's a media mogul, the queen of everything, and she's a broadcast journalist and an actress. Let's not forget she's been in films. So from an early age, she had a talent for speaking. The future queen of daytime TV was reciting poems when she was just 3. After a childhood marked by abuse and neglect during her teens, she moved in with her father, who encouraged her to read books and focus on her education. During high school in Nashville, she landed a radio job, then moved to local TV news, eventually becoming a news anchor while still in college. She hit a rough patch when she was demoted for getting too emotionally involved in her news stories, but soon found her home in talk shows, where her compassion and empathy were an asset and her dynamic personality was unmistakable. In '85, she transformed a Chicago area show into the Oprah Winfrey Show, and years later it was broadcast nationally. In '86, she started her own production company, Harpo Productions, which is just Oprah spelled backwards. I don't know if I knew that. All right. And became the first woman of color in history to own and produce her own TV show. Her career did not stop with TV. She produced movies and plays and launched her own TV network and magazine. She's written books and created the hugely influential Oprah's Book Club. She has won countless awards and was only the second African-American billionaire. Oprah consistently uses her influence to influence others, to help others. Through her various charities, she provides funds for schools, communities, and families in need, and vulnerable young women and children all over the world. In 2013, President Barack Obama honored her with the highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Despite the hardships of her past, she used her gifts to build a strong career for herself and created a platform to effect real change in the world. So good for Oprah. So, switching gears to our Disney story of the night, we're going to hear a story from the Jungle Book, and it's called Manners Mowgli. A strange but delicious smell drifted past Mowgli's nose. Turning around, he spied several platters of food. A moment later, people filled in and sat in a circle around the food. Mowgli had just come to live in the man village, and he was about to have his first meal. He lunged forward and grabbed a piece of meat. He shoved it in his mouth and chewed. He had never tasted cooked meat before, and you know what? It was delicious. As the juice dribbled down his chin, he grinned at the humans surrounding him. They did not grin back. In fact, they were looking at him in disgust, surprised. Mowgli's mouth dropped open. A piece of half-chewed meat fell out. "Disgusting," said an elderly woman. "Why, he eats like an animal," said a girl. Mowgli didn't understand a single word they said, but it suddenly dawned on him that he didn't live in the jungle anymore. Humans did things differently from the jungle creatures. Mowgli sighed. Would he ever fit in there? Smiling sheepishly, Mowgli finished chewing and wiped his mouth with his arm. Then he sat back and watched the others eat. He tried to copy them with little success. The sharpened stick didn't cut nearly as well as his teeth, and half the food fell off the paddle. At the next meal, he watched for a long time before he began to eat. The food was strange to him, warm liquid with soft vegetables. Holding his bowl in one hand, he tried to scoop the broth into his mouth with the paddle, but the soup kept slipping off, leaving him with almost nothing. So he put his bowl and paddle down with a frustrated sigh. Then ever so slowly, he picked up the bowl a second time and lifted it right to his lips. Then he took a big gulp of soup, swallowing and smacking his lips. The others stopped and stared. Then the village elder nodded and lifted his bowl to his mouth, taking a long sip and finishing with a lip smack of his own. Soon everyone was gulping the broth, slurping and smacking away. Mowgli grinned. It looked like he might fit in after all. All right, my friends, God bless you and have a wonderful night.